Guardians of the Galaxy on PS5 is just awesome. It's got some of the best dialogue in a game. I mean, it's very Uncharted-esque and kind of the snarkiness. And, you know, it's like the movies, the Guardian of the Galaxy movies. So I was pleasantly surprised because I thought the trailers, frankly, didn't look all that impressive to me. But it is fun, it's funny, it gets you pumped up, and it's got a pretty poignant story. So, if nothing else, it has great writing, great animations, and really just great acting in general. But of course, it's a game, and so the gameplay is the most important thing. And I would say that the gameplay is good, but not great. You only play as Star-Lord, but you do get the other Guardians involved quite a bit. And really, you can't just blast third-person style the whole time. There is some strategy to it. You've got to have kind of some different weapons uses. You've got to use the other Guardians' abilities. But it's also simple at the same time. So it's fun. It's not too frustrating. It's definitely not a Soulsborne type of game where you really are working hard to stay alive, even when you die, which, you know, you will die occasionally. You don't feel that frustrated or anything. It's just kind of, it's fun. There's a lot of gameplay mechanics, and I mean, that's the point. It's just supposed to be kind of fun, simple gameplay. There are a few boss fights and a few different styled enemies that require a little more strategy, and of course it progresses as the game goes on. But for the most part, it's fairly simple. I mean, you can kind of see here, you just control Star-Lord, Peter, and you can call on your fellow Guardians to do special moves, which are upgradable throughout the game. So you can, you know, spend your skill points on yourself or the Guardians to try to improve those special abilities. Otherwise, they're just kind of running around killing things the like normal brawler way. But even in like certain boss fights, you have to have Gamora use her special skill, which is directly tied into, you know, with her sword and her agility or ability to jump, or Drax with his strength, Rocket with gadgets, and Groot with, you know, using his limbs and his ability to, you know, for plant life. So for example, sometimes outside of a actual fight, you know, there's a area that you can't reach to with your jet boots. It's just too far of a jump, so you would ask Groot to grow his limbs across and create like a bridge. Or you need Drax to move something really heavy into a spot where you can then jump up, or Gamora to use her agility to get up the wall and then, you know, stick her sword in and then throw you up, or Rocket to hack something, those kind of things. And so it's simple, but it's fun, it's enough. And really, I mean, because the cutscenes and the acting is just so memorable, it actually, you kind of can't wait to get to the next step. It's a very brisk pace. It's different than the movies enough, but similar in that, like, you just like the characters. I mean, some of the voices are so close. Like, Rocket and Bradley Cooper are pretty close. Drax, you know, I mean, they're the same characters, so it really ties into that without actually being the movie, which is good. It shouldn't be the same. And it's telling a completely different story than the movies. It's not trying to replay the same stuff, you know, without giving away any spoilers. Just the way Peter's relationship with his mom, and there's told through some flashbacks, and then how he ended up where he did. It's just great. I've really liked it. And it is highly focused on Peter Quill and Star-Lord, of course. And I think that's fine. I mean, so were the movies, really. However, you do learn so much about the other Guardians, and it's just really charming is kind of the word to describe it. So, again, the gameplay, you know, if you were to give the gameplay a rating, I'd say it's better than average, something like a 7, something like that. A 7.5, but the writing is up there with like 9, 10, you know, in some of the best games. And it is definitely a AAA game. Like, I know the Guardians themselves aren't considered the biggest of superheroes, but the movies prove that people want that type of action. And you know, there's the constant bickering, but they all kind of love each other just like a family, and they did really capture that well. I've heard it said a couple other places that ideally this is what the Marvel's Avengers game should have been more like, a full single player experience. And this is what I would definitely welcome that if they did even just a Iron Man, or like, you know, the top 3 or 4 Avengers or something like that, and focused on them like this. It would have been much more fun. I like this a lot more than the Avengers game. It's, you know, very story driven. It's not as focused on the upgrades and things like that. It's an action game through and through, not trying to be a looter shooter or RPG or anything like that. It's straight up going into, hey, we're gonna have some fun here. You're gonna shoot some stuff. But you're really gonna have fun discovering the characters and living in this world. And it's absolutely fantastic. I know it's been getting good reviews, but I've still been surprised at how good some of the writing and the acting has been. And it's just been a blast to play. So I would definitely recommend Guardians of the Galaxy for PlayStation 5.
Are we okay?
Oh, tip-top, Captain.
So that's a no.